What is up, everybody? It is Dirty Ann.
DZAN. Welcome to your TUF report for episode 8 and episode 9. Today is Wednesday, July 28th. We got a couple of really great episodes, semi-final matches going on. Do it. You want to be dirty if you didn't. There it is. All right, man. Let's jump right into it, Dirty. Episode 8. We got Gilbert Urbina versus Miles Hunslinger. Urbina, man, what a good kid. Big fucking family. The third of the brothers to be on TUF.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Of course you
I
can.
wasn't planning on doing this, but I just became overwhelmed with this. And I know some of my patrons watch our podcast here, and thank you guys. It's been a rough week here at Dirty's house. DZAN is very aware. DZAN was a very good friend of me this week because my wife went to the hospital again. It was a very scary moment, quite frankly. I couldn't get anybody to respond to my fucking phone, and I reached out to DZAN, and boom, there he was. I don't want to get into why or anything like that, but she had surgery the week prior to, and we believe it has something to do with that. But she's still not doing well. And so I just want to put some positive vibes out there for my wife.
Yes.
And hopefully we receive some back. Thanks.
That's right. All
right. Let's go.
All right. So Gilbert Urbina, one of the three brothers to go on TUF. We had one on the girls' season. I think Joanna's season.
TUF is the operative word when you're talking about Gilbert Urbina.
Oh man, right.
Dude, what a stud, man. I'm sorry to interrupt your thing there, but man,
no,
when
you're
you
fine,
said TUF, I know we're talking about TUF, but that is what exemplifies TUF is Gilbert Urbina.
Yep. I mean, I like Miles a lot. I felt really bad, man. He hyperextended his knee, throwing a switch kick. He threw it to a Trishan, and you can see it. The way he threw it, it bent around his head. He went and saw the doctor, found out it was a tear, MCL grade 2 tear.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I want to see.
I might have missed that. Okay.
What are your thoughts on this? Because it was an MCL grade 2 tear. The doctor says you can fight.
Mm-hmm.
However, if something bad happens, of course, you could make it so much worse. It could be up to a grade 4 tear. He decided not to fight. And it seems like the coaches were very conflicted on whether he should continue or not. And he wouldn't allow any of the coaches in the room when he made that decision. I want to know what your thoughts.
Glad you asked because, as you know, I played hockey for a number of years and I had a lot of knee injuries, and one of them was an MCL tear, completely torn.
Right.
I finished the season with a torn MCL. Finished the season.
Right.
I think that we had like maybe 8-10 games left. And at the level that I was at the time, that was a third of the season, actually more than that. So it's not that big of a deal, quite honestly.
Right.
And maybe, it's a situation where he's worried about risking further injury, but an MCL is not an ACL. An LCL and MCL, the medial collateral ligament, the lateral collateral, or whatever the fuck, and then the anterior cruciate ligament. The MCL and the LCL are more side to side. But the ACL still gives you the base. So,
right.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. I'm very sorry about that. Matter of fact, please hang on 1 second, guys. Very sorry about that, guys. So I finished out the season, and I ended up having a scope done, and ended up having to have the surgery. And even the surgery is not that major. They're much more severe surgery. ACL surgery is much more intense. Much
more. Yeah.
So yeah, I've known
Weird
a
one, right?
number of other players that I've played with. I've known a number of athletes. There are famous stories in the NFL about a bunch of players, running backs even playing
Yeah.
with partially torn MCLs and
Right.
LCLs.
Fighters even going into some fights with some tears. I mean, it happens. It's a part of it. I do understand when you think about it, it's the second fight. I mean, there's still another fight after this.
Yeah.
But
And I did want to say one thing, though. I'm not him. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he's got to do him. And I don't want to come off like I'm criticizing him, even though I guess I did backhandedly. But I just think that you really need to evaluate where you're placing your importance, because there's only one way to impress Dana White.
Right.
And that is fighting. You have to fight. And this is the kind of thing that could scratch your dreams altogether.
And I can guarantee you, knowing Dana White, had that kid gone out there and fought, whether lost or won, Dana would have taken care of him. And that would have all been behind the scenes. And so that's the part of Dana that we always love, right? Because at the end of the day, he takes
care of them,
of his fighters.
Much more so than the narrative that's about him.
Speaking of taking care of the fighters, at first I thought it was unusual that they didn't use one of the losers like they usually do in the TUF seasons, until Dana talked about this fucking guy, this alternate, Michael Gilmore, who stayed in Vegas. He was an alternate. He was told to go home, stayed in Vegas out of his own pocket just in case something popped up, quit his salaried paying job. This is either the biggest dumbass, which we found out pretty much. But what a way to chase your dreams. You can never gonna hate on him for that.
And nobody ever better, because the fact is that how many times have we, and I think I just said this not too long ago about chasing your dreams. Who was I talking about?
I don't remember.
Oh, anyway, I just talked about this, grabbing the bull by the horns and going at, look at Tech Nine, man. Tech Nine is a perfect example of this. Record company after record company. No, not interested.
Yeah.
That didn't stop him.
Right.
Seize the day, man. Carpe diem.
Yep. No, you're right.
Smart move. In my opinion, that was a very smart move, because it beats the hell out of being 20 years down the road saying, man, if I would have just
done that, taken that opportunity, who knows, right?
He removed that question from the equation. Now he knows.
Yep. Now during the fighter meeting, when they announced that Miles was not going to continue and that this alternate was going to come in, Volkanovski fucking lost it. I mean, he lost it. He goes off on Ortega about not disclosing any information. It wasn't really Ortega's fault, because he waited until the very last second to be like, I don't want to do this. And he wouldn't even let his coaches in the room with the doctor. And so, but Ortega, he finally got a rise out of Ortega, and Ortega just like, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't see Ortega snap like that. That he got to Ortega on that one for sure.
Let me just say that I understand why Ortega did what he did. It's gamesmanship.
Yeah.
These two are going to fight, what better way to get a rise out of them than to fuck with them? And
any chance you fucking get.
Absolutely. I mean, you're always looking for that mental edge.
Yep. Now let's get into the fight, which won't take very long at all.
No, it won't.
Round one, rear naked choke. It was too easy. Gilbert did what he wanted to Gilmore, and he did it in brutal, dominant fashion. I was in awe. I love this fucking kid. This guy, like you said, when you think of tough, this fucking dude is tough. And like I said, he did what he wanted to him. And then we ended with the most even season of all time, 4-4. What are your thoughts about the fight, Dirty?
Well, first of all, I am a fan already like I'm taking to him like I've taken to some other now legends of the past TUF. And now I'm not putting them there yet, but I'm certainly watching. He's got my interest, and I'm going to be paying attention. And I think that that's the whole objective to TUF, right?
Absolutely.
Is for us to want to watch you. And I want to watch him.
Yep, I do too, man. He's just one of those fighters. We love those fucking fighters. You just love to watch him. You're just gonna tune in. So we got Ortega winning 4 in a row, Volkanovski winning 4 in a row, and leading into the semifinals.
I'm so glad you brought that up, DZAN. And I was thinking about you as I was watching this past one. You know, we made a big deal about the fact that Ortega won the first 4, and we were wondering, you know, hey, could this happen? You know,
right?
And it starts making me wonder behind the scenes stuff. You know, are they showing these in order?
You know what? I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I went back and I watched one of the episodes from earlier. I can't remember. I think it was week 2 or week 3. And there was no mention in there at all about where they were in the process. So they never come out and say, hey, this is the second fight, or this is week 2, or there's nothing in there at all.
Yeah,
so it makes me wonder if
very interesting theory. And now that I think about it, I want to go back and rewatch. But the last episode, I feel like it was in episode 8. We looked at one of the fighters that looked like he had just gotten out of a fight.
With his eyes.
He had just gotten fucked up. His eyes were so fucked up.
Yeah.
But he didn't fight that week, and I don't think he was listed to.
Yeah.
So
you know, I never put that one together.
That's exactly what I thought about when you said that. That's what I thought about. I said, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Whatever makes good TV.
And at the end, I got no problem with it.
And at the end of the day, if we're watching what really happened and what really unfolded, who cares if you make me a little more interested by changing it up? But what I think you're dead on, though. I think you're dead on with that. I think they do show it to us out of order to make it a little more interesting.
Sure.
And I don't think they've done this in the past, but it's a really good call out. I don't know.
I don't know now. You know, now
I want to go back. I mean, now I want to go back.
Questioning that now.
I'm making my wife reluctantly. She hates it, kind of. I don't know. I'm making her watch all the TUF seasons, and she just looks for it. She's like, "Who's all the attractive winners? We'll go there."
Right.
I said, "All right, all right, let's go down it." So we're looking at a couple seasons right now. So I'm gonna be looking at that in the background for sure. All right, let's get back to it. Semifinal fight announcements for the 135 pounders at the end of the day.
Semifinals.
It looked like Volkanovski and Ortega agreed on everything. And I like that. They agreed on all the fights. And Dana was like, okay, you're good with that one? Yeah, you're good with that one? All right. So we got Ricky from Volkanovski versus Ludwig, which we see in episode 9. Brady from Volkanovski versus Vincent from Ortega, and that's the 135ers. 185ers, we have Brian versus Andre, gonna be a killer fucking fight. And then our man Gilbert versus my favorite Trayshawn. We have some fucking amazing fights coming up.
But that is the one that I'm looking toward the most.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. The Gilbert versus Trayshawn, 100%. But that was your episode 8.
Not to mention, I'm sorry. I prefer watching the bigger guys. I always have. And I think that's the case with most people. But especially in this case, because I think those are my 2 favorite ones as well. So, yeah. Anyway.
I've always liked the bigger guys for the huge knockouts that make you cringe and like, oh my God. But then I love the little guys because of the flash knockouts. Those knockouts that you don't think look like they hurt, and then they stun them back. And you see those little guys. Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. It's a different kind of, you know what I mean? Like love for it. Absolutely. Episode 9. Ortega.
I think that's probably why we like the 145, 155, and welterweight,
right in betweeners, right?
Because they all kind of have a collective of the extremes.
Right.
So yeah,
that's a good point.
Although there's nothing like watching Francis Ngannou knock a motherfucker out. So.
Motherfucking A, you ain't wrong, Dirty. You ain't fucking wrong. We start at episode 9. Nothing really too big on this episode. except when it starts out, we got we have Ortega late to practice, which it seems to be a reoccurring issue with these guys, and we're starting to see it from his team. Volkanovski puts clocks all over the fucking room and then puts a fucking clock in his lap for him to come in. And I could not be happier at Ortega's reaction and how well he took it. Such a good sport. Even fucking let him go on his shoulders. Like, that's fucking awesome to see. I like seeing that shit too. It's always good to see.
Yeah.
It's always good to see, the Rashad and Rampage bicker at each other, but it's also really good to see that kind of shit. It really reminded me of McGregor Faber season, where they had a really fun hate love relationship. I really like that shit.
That was one of the best seasons in my opinion, as far as entertainment value goes.
Right. Yeah.
Just every week there was something.
Mm-hmm. There was always something
bubbling underneath always. Yep. Yeah.
I will never forget change your underwear, man, because I'm gonna fuck you. I will never. That is
the 50-year-old skateboarder though, man.
Oh my God, you look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder. That was the best fucking line.
And then
what is Python? We don't know what Python is.
Snake in the grass.
Yes, he named him, man.
Yeah.
Cody lunging at him. Come on, it doesn't get much better than that, man. What's some great shit? We saw some fight prep between these two guys in this episode. Nothing else really happening, but what a fight. What a fucking fight. I mean, round one, I will say the first 3 minutes of the whole fight, it was all right. Nothing really much happened, but towards the end of the round, Ricky, he was targeting that left leg. He really fucking put it on him. What are your thoughts on the first round or just in the fight in general?
The fight in general, I guess first of all, I don't know if you saw Ortega. The one thing that I love that he does is he's always the calming voice. And even the week before, what's the guy's name? The kid that fought
from last week, Gilbert?
No. The week before.
Brady won. Brady.
Now, anyway, things started getting really hectic, and he's always that calming presence. I remember they were right up against the cage, and he's literally sitting right next to them, and he's saying, "Okay, now you want to turn your hips," and he's talking just like this.
Right.
You want to turn your hips, and this guy's losing the fight, and he's like, "You want to turn your hips? Okay, there you go. All right, now you sit up. I need you to sit up." And that's how he's talking to him.
Yeah.
And there's so many times when those emotions are running so high, and most people, I want to reiterate that I think that he's going to make a tremendous coach at some point.
Yeah.
Back to this fight. I don't know, man. It just seemed like there was just a little something missing for me from both fighters.
I would agree with that for sure. I mean,
maybe they weren't quite ready for prime time just yet. We'll see. I don't know.
Ricky. I thought Ricky was going to look. Ludwig can take a fucking hit, obviously, like we saw. But I honestly did think it was going to be a little easier for Ricky. If I'm completely honest, just by his striking. But it looked like a headbutt at the end of the first round really got Ludwig pissed off that the ref didn't see it, call it out, and he took a couple unnecessary shots because of that. In round two, Ludwig made it a lot more competitive, took it to the ground. I don't know why he abandoned that. I know Ricky started nailing him with those elbows from the bottom, but he had control. So it was odd that he kind of abandoned the game plan a little bit. And in round three, I think Ricky baited him into his game plan, said, let's meet in the middle right here and let's strike it out. Cause Ricky knew he had the upper hand on that one. And he really started to get that left leg again. He was finding a home with those body shots, those hook body shots, and straights. It was a good fight from Ricky. At the end of the day, it was a really great performance from Ricky, but I do agree with you in the sense that it did feel like there was something missing.
Yeah, I would say a really good performance. I don't know, man. I just feel like maybe a little more experience. Not experience. I don't know, man. Just maybe some more coaching or something.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's what TUF is for.
Right.
You know,
it's to get the octagon time in. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you got some high level coaching here. You got proven fighters. One of them is
some champions,
a champion, and one has been very close to championship several times. And so, yeah. So I take it easy on him. I just, for me personally, I just feel like there's more to go.
Yeah.
Even for Ricky.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't agree with Dana saying it was the best round of the season. That still belongs to Mitch. I'm sorry.
100%.
Not even the best fight of the season.
Yeah,
Get out of here. Again,
I was
that belongs
to
to
hear
Mitch.
him say that.
Me too. I was like, you did not see the first and second round, dude? No.
Yeah.
That third round, I can see how you got a high on that third round. That last 15 seconds, I jumped out my seat. I jumped out my fucking seat.
Yeah. It was exciting as hell.
Ricky looked like he was going to get knocked out twice in that last 15 seconds. I'm like, don't lose it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you could tell I was going for Ricky at the end of the day.
Kind of like the fight night. We'll talk about that in the podcast.
Yeah. But all in all, we got Ricky. Now moving on to the finale. People, we got Ricky moving to the finale. How about that? Ricky's going to be in the finale, and he's going to be fighting either Brady or Vincent. So really excited about that. Next episode, we get the fucking coaches competition. That's usually my favorite fucking episode. I can't wait for that shit.
I like the Brady matchup for Ricky.
Yeah. I do too. I don't know about Vincent though, to be honest. Vincent is probably the cleanest striker this season for that division.
Yeah, that's why I say that. He's gonna be a motherfucker to get out of there.
Yeah. I will say I'm going for Ricky to win it for the 135ers, but if not Ricky, I really, really like Vincent. So that's me, man.
Same here.
That's me for that one. Yeah. When it comes to the 185ers and you got Brian versus Andre, I like Brian, but I liked Andre since the very first episode when he had his fight. A real genuine guy, and he's been a great fucking teammate throughout this season.
Oh, sure.
I'm really going for Andre on that one, but nothing's more exciting than that last matchup with Gilbert Urbina and Trayshawn, man. That's gonna be one hell of a fight, dude. One hell of a fight. That's your guys' TUF report for episode 9 and 10. Hope you enjoyed. We will see you next week, 8 and 9. We will see you next week for episode 10. Peace out, guys.
Peace.